What's up, Reds? Welcome to the match preview. Everton hosting Liverpool in the Premier League, Merseyside derby. We've all been waiting for it. And Kieran, you and I have actually been planning this for about a month or so. So I'm looking forward to this, man. How you doing? Great to have you on.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Obviously, Everton at the moment aren't doing the best, but I'm not going to let that hinder my mood. I'm excited for the derby tomorrow. You know what? I'm always up for it because there's no point in going into it being negative. You may as well just be upbeat and positive. And obviously, thank you for letting me on so far. You know what I mean? So thank you. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I hope I'm sure we'll get to it with all the debates and everything else like that, and Rafa and whatnot. But I'm excited.
Yeah, let's start there, man. That was the biggest narrative of the offseason, right? We got Rafa Benitez going to Everton. From a Liverpool fan perspective, I think enough time had passed where we love Rafa, right? We have no quarrels with him going anywhere he wants. He spent time away from the club at other clubs. Newcastle unfortunately didn't work out. I believed in that vision, but apparently the board didn't. But now he's with Everton, and how's he doing from your perspective? I know you guys have had some injuries, some suspensions, but from an Everton fan, how is Rafa doing for you guys?
Very mixed. A brilliant start. We went I think it was 4 or 5 games unbeaten at the start of the season. Great start. Pretty much carbon copy of what Carlo Ancelotti did last season. Just that's sort of a basic overview of what he did. He came in, implemented a system, had all the players at his disposal. Obviously no injuries really. Bar Calvert-Lewin going out. Calvert-Lewin's only played 3 games, so that was a bit of a hit. But it was a good start. International break comes again, and it is literally the same as every single season. It seems as soon as we hit that international break in November, October time, we just absolutely crumble. We haven't won a game in 7 games, 2 months. It's becoming concerning. And even though I'd say probably an 80-20, 90-10 split on Rafa at the moment, I'm in the split of I am Rafa because I don't think he's the main problem. Because you look at the season so far, those games where he was unbeaten, obviously we played a 4-4-2 slash 4-2-3-1 dependent on the game. We had our best striker in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We had our best centre-back in Yerry Mina and Abdoulaye Doucouré, our best centre-mid. But as soon as that international break hit, I don't know what happened, but we didn't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin anymore. We didn't have Yerry Mina. We didn't have Seamus Coleman for a period of time. We didn't have Doucouré. Alan was coming out at some games. And pretty much a lot of players in our team have been injured this season. Damari Gray went down against Man City. He had to go off for Alex Iwobi. And, little injuries like that and big injuries like the Yerry Mina one have just absolutely crumbled our season so far. And it's all coming up to this point where we are going to be against you tomorrow. And it's going to be interesting to say the very least, because I think this game, obviously it's a big game, Merseyside derby. We all know, it is just probably one of the biggest games that Everton will have in the Premier League season. You look over it.
Oh yeah,
38 games. It probably is. I mean, from a Liverpool fan, would you say it's one of the bigger games for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I'd say right now it's obviously. I think Man City has taken the top spot. When we play Man City, that's like the game. Like we're like, all right, we got to show up to play. Man United second, and then Everton. Those are the top three for me. Obviously when we play the top six, it's always a big game. But when those games come up, I'm like, all right, we got to win. We got to put in our best performance. Some of the best football you see is when big rivalry games take place. When Man City play Liverpool, Everton play Liverpool. It brings the best out of the players. And going back to what you were talking about with the injuries, we're no stranger to it. We went through it horribly last season. And somehow we came out finishing third thanks to Allison. What an absolute legend that guy is. And how are you guys adapting? Because I know Ben Godfrey, you got him from Norwich. When he was at Norwich, he was playing midfield, and he's kind of adapted to a center back. How has he been working out for you guys, and how has it been, with Andre Gomez not necessarily working out? Jean-Philippe Gbamin, or however you say his last name, he's not really getting a lot of playing time. To be fair, he's been out for like two straight years, it seems like. So how are you guys adapting? How is Rafa adapting to all the injuries?
It's difficult, to say the very least. He's sticking with the same formation, 4-2-3-1. But then again, you reminded me now, Godfrey, he was out with COVID for the first 3 weeks, you know what I mean? And he's
oh
not
my
up to
God,
the same.
yeah.
Honestly, you forget these injuries that happen. Godfrey was phenomenal last year. Honestly, one of my favourite players, and I think he still shows that passion. He still has got it, but COVID wipes you out. especially with footballers for some reason.
That's what a lot of people are saying about Sadio Mane. He hasn't been the
Yeah.
same since COVID, and I don't know what it is, man.
I don't know whether because the standard is so high of football players that when they get COVID, they just completely are wiped out, and it's not sort of the same as a normal, person like me and you, me and yourself. But I don't know. It's just with Rafa, he's trying his best. I think genuinely. Look, there's a big debate with Rafa, I think, and this is the main thing about the injury thing that Rafa's sort of looking at. Rafa's got two options. Obviously, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin out, with Sigurdsson, with that happening.
God, I forgot about Sigurdsson.
Rodriguez going to Qatar. All the other injuries happening in the midfield, like you said. Gbamin only played 4 games in 2 years.
It's crazy.
He earns about 60 grand a week. That is a disgrace. Gomez, again, since that injury, he has a total. He's just. I don't know whether he's Premier League standard. I really question some of the players. They are not Premier League standard, some of them. So Rafa's has two options. You can start Rondon and Iwobi up top, or you can start Dobbin and Sims. And what is dividing the fan base now is, do you want to start Rondon and Iwobi up top, or Rondon up top, or do you want to start Sims and Dobbin? And what's happening is these past games, these games that we've lost or drawn, this period of 7 games that we haven't won, Rafa's stuck with Rondon, stuck with Iwobi, and they've not delivered. And the fans are crying out for Dobbin and Sims to come on. And I'm actually sort of crying out for it because you've seen the likes of Anthony Gordon. He's came in to sort of fill that void at left wing with Demarai Gray having to cover at Cam. It really is our attack line. That's where our main crisis is at the moment. And that's the main challenge, I think. We are not scoring enough goals to win games. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Brentford 1-0, West Ham 1-0. Those are 2 losses there. Only conceded 1 goal. So I don't think the defence is the main problem. The main problem is not scoring enough goals. And you saw when Dominic Calvert-Lewin was actually in our team, we didn't have that problem because Dominic Calvert-Lewin is one of the best strikers in the league. I will say that now. He's not the best.
Yeah,
he is one of the best.
I'm with you, man. Honestly, I mean, there was a point last season where he was hot. I mean, I think you guys were top of the league. You won 7 out of 7, right, to start the season last season?
Yeah.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin was insane. I love him as a player. I mean, I don't like playing against him, but I love him as a player. I respect him as a player. And I agree. I think Demarai Gray going down injured, huge loss for you guys. I thought that was a very good signing, very underrated signing. Alex Iwobi hasn't, I mean, does he produce? I
think he's scared of the goal, mate. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely think he is scared of the goal. You saw it when he went up 1v1 against Edison in the Man City game. Instead of shooting, instead of trying to go at Edison, he turns it back and just, I don't know why he does. He sort of just like a chop, like a Ronaldo chop, trying to cut in when he doesn't need to. He just needs to shoot.
It's a confidence thing.
For me, there's certain players, that whole midfield, Iwobi, Gbamin, Gomez, I'd even put Delph in there, even though Delph's a different matter because he's been quite good when he's played. Those 3 especially, the first 3 I mentioned, just aren't it and they need to go. I don't know what's happened with Iwobi. I don't know if there's any dodgy dealings going on there. But 40 million for Iwobi is very questionable. And
that was a high price. That was because you think about that. I mean, we got Jota for the same price, and look at the production of Jota. You know what I mean? I don't. Do you think it's more of a executive thing, like bad decision deals, or do you think it's more of a cultural thing? Not cultural thing, I should say, chemistry thing. Like, do you think Iwobi fits into the team because he's been there for a while, right?
Yeah. He obviously got signed under Marco Silva second season, and that second season was absolutely atrocious for signings. I think it always comes down to the board with Everton. Now, on the pitch, you can only do so much because obviously I coach myself, and look, it's not the same standard as Premier League, but I've been in and around an environment where coaches can only do so much. Sometimes the players have to produce, and what I'm seeing from the Everton team are players that don't want to work, don't want to fight for the badge. And they just don't care being there. They just want to pick up a wage and just, I mean, if you're on 60 grand a week, I'd expect, 110% effort, flying into every tackle, but they're just standing there doing nothing. Iwobi is showing that. Gomez, Gbamin, I would say even Rondon, probably. Delph was doing that before is sort of before the Wolves game. And there's just many players in this team that look like they just don't care about Everton. And that is the main problem. And it all comes back to the board.
Yeah.
It's the board at the top. We always whenever we're talking about Man United or whenever anyone's talking about Man United, they always go, "Why is Ed Woodward in charge? Why have we got a businessman in charge of Man United?" Well, I would argue the same thing for Brands. Now, I didn't think Brands was the problem, but looking at his transfers, yes, he's had some good transfers, and the likes of Richarlison, Yerry Mina, Luca Digne, I could go on, but he's had some absolutely awful signings. Rooney, Klassen, and Sigurdsson same season. Actually, that wasn't Brands, that was Coman. That's a whole different matter. Sorry, I'm talking about Marco Silva's second season. I should be emphasising for Brands because Brands wasn't in for Coman. That was another technical director who's at fault as well. We've got two. It's honestly,
he's got a lot of problems.
My brain just goes. But Brands, that second season with Marco Silva, Gabamin, Delph, Iwobi, really, you're buying these types of players? And I know we had a good season under Carlo last year, but that's the Carlo effect in my book. No chance of me getting those players if Carlo's not there. You know what I mean?
Thought that was an interesting. I honestly thought he would stay longer. But was that the plan going in, to just appoint him for like a season and then see ya?
No, we thought he was staying until the new stadium.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he duped us, man. He said he's coming here for the long project. He's going to stay here, this, that, the other. And, I think the last international break we had last season, that was the turning point. I think I've got this wild theory that Carlo knew then that he was going to get the Real Madrid job at the end of the season. It's not been proven. Right, it's not been proven at all. But since then, the form just dropped, and then Carlo obviously went off to Real Madrid, and he's doing quite well there because, I'm not going to use his quote that he said about Everton, okay, and Real Madrid. Have you heard the quote?
I actually haven't. Please fill me in.
Okay, he basically compared us to a Fiat 500 and Real Madrid to a Ferrari. So he said it's easier to get a Ferrari going than a Fiat 500. So he's basically comparing us to a terrible car.
But see that then that makes me think that it wasn't you. He's at fault. He's at fault for the drop in form. You know what I mean? Like, I don't respect that at all. I don't respect a coach doing that. Mm-hmm. But let's take a look at the last 5 matches, right? So we know Liverpool finally lost to Everton. All right, it was 2-0. Okay, it was rough. First off, how did you guys feel about that? Were you guys pumped?
Wait, which game? Sorry.
So this was in February last season.
Yes. Absolutely gas, mate.
Yeah, dude. I can imagine. I can imagine.
Just look at the photos of Duncan Ferguson after the game. That's all I'm going to say. And that's how I felt. Absolutely gassed.
I actually think it does good things for the rivalry because, I mean, when it's so one-sided for so long, it loses its spark. But now that, Everton finally got that W under their belt, we're kind of going into this like, okay, we have no room for error because our biggest thing so far this season, especially against teams like Brentford, we let teams get in behind way too often. Now, what kind of makes me feel comforted is that when you say your attacking line is just not cutting it. So that kind of makes me feel like, all right, I'm not too worried about it. Mm-hmm. But I think we're in for a good game. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at how close this game is.
No, absolutely. And you know what? I know a lot of Everton fans, respectfully, obviously, rightfully, they're saying 5-0, 4-0. They're coming into it like, we're going to get.
Why so negative, bro? That's what I love that you're positive. I love that.
I don't blame them though. I don't blame them because I could come on here and say the exact same thing. Because why would you be positive? Think about it. Why should you be positive going into this game? You're on a losing streak of 7. You're going up against one of the best teams in England. You whooped Man United 5-0. You've played many teams off the park. Now, I'll spin that and say that you have, bottled it a few times against West Ham, Brighton.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Well, why would you be positive if you're going into it? You're looking at Rafa's press conference today. It doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Sometimes, some of the quotes. So honestly, some of the quotes he said that the post-match conference he had for the Brentford game, he said, I think I'll try and get the exact quote up, but he said along the lines of, the players gave it their all. I don't know what happened, this, that, the other. And you're just looking at it, and there's a massive disconnect. And I'm not surprised. If you want to say it's 3-0 Liverpool, fair enough. You know what I mean? I don't blame you at all because I could do the exact same thing. But I want to be positive about this because not the reason I started a fan channel, but the thing that keeps me going about a fan channel is I want to stay positive about the club. I want to try and, find any positives I can, even if the writing's on the wall that we're going to get battered 5-0. It's the perfect game, really, to sum it up. We're going into a Merseyside derby, which we haven't had a great history of 10 years. There was a period of 10 years where we just didn't win a game. But last season we stayed unbeaten.
Yeah, somehow.
We drew. I think we stayed unbeaten. We've stayed unbeaten at Goodison Park for the past 3-4 games or something like that. I don't know.
No, you have. Yeah, no, you have, because if we're looking at aside from the 5-2, that was a great game. God, what a great game that was.
Don't remind me of that.
Yeah. Oh my God, Origi, what a legend. So the 0-0 before that at Goodison, and then another 0-0 at Goodison. That was our biggest thing. Now I'm remembering we can't score at Goodison, but then we come in last season and we scored 2, still a draw. But we did score 2, and then you guys came to Anfield and beat us. I think that was the biggest thing for us as a fan base. We were like, we lost. That was in a dark time for us. Okay, we were in the height of our injury crisis, and we had lost to Burnley. We lost to you guys. We had lost like 6 or 7 straight at home. It was absolutely horrible. Dark times for us. And you guys come in and win 2-0. If I'm Rafa, I'm using that as motivation going into this game. I'm like, guys, we did it at Anfield. Now we're at Goodison. Let's go beat them. You know what I mean? Like and that's why I actually really like that you said that, because when I started the fan channel, I wanted to stay positive too. All of our viewers know that this is a positive channel. We'll recognize both sides of the argument, but at the end of the day, you love the club. That's all you're doing. You're talking about the club you love, regardless of the stuff that's going on off the field with FSG or whatever the case may be. Just support your players. Be positive. So I really respect that from you. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know what? Looking at this game individually, we are at Goodison Park, and I don't expect anything from the fans, because you go in there to watch. So, if you want to back the team, back the team. But I would say if we back the team, if we all back the team from here, from wherever you're watching, you back the team, you go, you know what, for 90 minutes, I'm going to back Rafa. I genuinely think we can get a 1-0 win.
Ooh, okay.
It's bold. It is very bold.
It's very bold.
It is very bold indeed. Don't see us scoring more than 1 goal.
Okay. If you get in behind, honestly, bro, it's possible. It's possible. If you catch us out, quick counterattack, it is very possible.
That's what we're vulnerable. Look, I'll give an example. Manchester United versus Chelsea ended 1-1. I mean, Tuchel didn't have the best game, but Michael Carrick, he just put 8 men behind the ball. He caught them on the counter, got a goal, and yes, they got a draw. But I would take a draw out of this. You know?
Oh my God,
absolutely.
Yeah. And especially Man United, I was like, Man United would definitely take a draw. 100% took a draw against Chelsea. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it'll be a good game. Now let's try to do a starting 11, combined starting 11. Okay. Okay. Now,
okay. All right.
Okay. And so we know Decore's back. I really do like Decore. I like Allen in the midfield. I think your midfield and your left back are my areas where, not now, because I mean, if Robertson's back healthy, it's Robertson. But Luca Digne, man, I think he might be one of the most underrated left backs in the Premier League. Yeah. I think he's right up there with like a Tsimikas level player, bro.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think that Luca Digne, he's being a little bit restricted by Rafa. A little bit.
So he's not letting him go forward?
No. He's not letting him do the best job he can. You know what I mean? He's not giving him license to roam, but I think that you are right about Luca Digne. He's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's one of the best left backs in the league. And, I wouldn't say he's the best in the world, but especially for Everton, mid-table, right? Just take it into context. We are mid-table. Mm-hmm. He's not the best.
Unfortunately.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, honestly, I'd love to be on here saying, we're getting top 6, we're getting top 4, we're doing what West Ham are doing. Sometimes you just got to take things into context, and we have got some brilliant players for not all. I'm not going to say mid-table's our level, because I don't want to say that. But for what we are right now, we've got some quality players, and Luca Digne is just one of them.
Luca Digne is definitely one of them. Now, let's try to take bias out of it. Who would you go as a goalkeeper between Alisson and Jordan Pickford? T-Rex Arms, Pickford.
No, right. That's it. Right, Pickford doesn't get into this team, but let's get some respect on his name. Conceded only 2 goals at the Euros. You know what I mean? Yeah. He would have well won Player of the Tournament if we won the Euros.
One thing I'll say about Pickford, his distribution is really good. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the thing about Alisson. That's the only criticism I have of Alisson. When Alisson has the ball at his feet, I get a little bit worried. Not Adrian worried, but I still get a little bit worried. You know what I mean? Whereas Pickford gets it, and he's quick. He's quick off the ground, punts it long. I mean, honestly, man, his distribution.
We've had a few goals where Pickford's got a long ball right up to the top, up to your halfway line. Dominic Calvert-Lewin takes a touch. He's in behind.
No, I've seen it several times.
There's been many times where that's happened, and we've sort of lost that a little bit now. I've noticed we've lost a few elements like that because we don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin anymore. So we can't progress the ball forward. There's no one up there. And it's sort of hindering what Pickford can do, how much Pickford can actually distribute the ball. But he doesn't get into this team because I think you'll find with this team, with this combined 11, a lot of Liverpool players are going to get ahead of them.
It's kind of why I wanted to do it. I was going to be like, oh, let's see how many get in there. Like I said, I mean, the front three. Obviously, we're gonna take all the front three.
Whoa, no.
Ooh, okay. Who's going in there?
We'll wait for that.
Okay. Let's work our way up the pitch. All right. So Ali in goal. As much as the respect I have for Luca Digne, right? I'm going, oh God, part of me wants to say Tsimikas, but Robertson, the performance he put in against Southampton, just phenomenal. You know, he's gotten a lot of criticism recently just because of how well Tsimikas has been doing, which is a good problem to have. But I'm going Robertson at left back, bro.
Well, I'm going. Well, are we doing this in form or overall? Because if we're doing it overall, I'll put Luca Digne in there. I think Tsimikas doesn't get anywhere near these two. He's had a great season. He's had a great start, but you know, he's only had 10 games so far.
Yeah, that's just my bias. That's just my bias.
I can tell you like him, and you know what? That's a sign of a good player. If you know people are liking him already. But I'll give you Robertson if you really want, because I'm not going to get boggled down on this debate of Robertson versus Luca Digne because I know it's very prevalent everywhere. I mean, thing is with Luca Digne, this season I can't defend him. I would have to say it's Robertson this season, but overall. Luca Digne, I always try and take into account if Luca Digne was in a team like Liverpool, if Luca Digne was in the position that Robertson's in right now, would he do a better job or would he do the exact same job or would he do a worse job? I would say he'd do minimal the same job or better.
I honestly can't disagree with you. I think a lot of times he's forgotten about. I really do, just because of, like you said, you have players that are above mid-table quality, but your team is performing at a mid-table level. Luca Digne is one of those players. And I might get some hate for that, but I think Luca Digne is very good. Very good player. So I would completely understand you putting him in there over Robertson. But of course, I'm going to go with Robertson. Now, center backs, is there really any debate on this?
Last season.
You're
lucky I wasn't here last season.
Oh, Matt Deeney, bro. Oh, my God.
Going on and on and on about Ben Godfrey. Get him in the team.
Yeah.
You know what? As long as you're not putting Gomez in there, you can have. Look. If you want a centre back partnership of Van Dijk and Matic, you can. I can't bring in the Godfrey narrative. I would love to. Godfrey is going to be starting for England in the next 5 years. He's going to be in a top 4 team, whether that's Everton or whether that is someone else. He's going to be up there as one of the best centre backs in the league, at least. At the very least.
Wow.
I rate him as highly as Tomori and Konza. I think those three are the ones that are going to the
Tomori's good. Tomori is so good. So Godfrey, how old is he?
23-ish.
23. Okay, so a little younger than Joe Gomez. That's what I'm worried about with Joe Gomez. After the injury, he just hasn't found his form. We've only seen him a few times, but I think there's a reason for that. Klopp goes with the players he trusts, but he's playing Konate over Gomez. There's even talk of Gomez going to Villa for the rest of the season in January. Would you rate Ben Godfrey higher than Joe Gomez now?
Yes, I would. I think that Konate, a bit of a sticky one.
He's raw. He's very raw.
Yeah, you'd have to look. He's going to be. If you put Konate next to Godfrey, you've got a really good centre back partnership. Save the least at Everton. You know what I mean? So he gets into our team, but yeah, I'd say on the Gomez situation, look, Godfrey's better than Gomez in my book. Okay, he's not gone to the same levels as Gomez, but sometimes you just got to rate the career as a whole, and I think Godfrey's potential is a lot higher than Gomez's. Especially because Godfrey's playing every single game. And the thing is with Godfrey, right, he may not have a 10 out of 10 performance every single game, but he's giving you 110%. He's trying to win every ball he can. He's trying to go for, he's
effort.
Left, right,
there's
center.
Effort.
Yeah, there's effort. There's something there. There's a bit of passion about him. Would not be surprised when Coleman goes if he's our captain. Genuinely wouldn't.
Honestly, and I do like him. I thought that was a great pickup for you guys, and the way he's adapted to playing center back, very good. If you would have asked me 2 seasons ago, Gomez or Matip, there's an argument to be made for Gomez, but Gomez has just fallen off. I mean, the injury didn't help, but I'm worried that Konate is overtaking Gomez's spot in the team. And you talk about Godfrey as you think he might be one of the best defenders in England in a few years' time. I feel that Konate has the potential to be one of the best defenders in the world. He's just raw athleticism. He's 6'5". He sprints like a maniac, and if he can just fine tune some of those skills, like sometimes he commits too early, he'll get caught out. But his 1v1 defending, his heading, sometimes his decision making is a little off. But again, these are all things that are just you can hone, you can train.
Yeah,
the athletic ability is there. I really think Konate can. He's going to be next to Van Dijk, bro, in a couple of years, and we are going to be unstoppable. I'm telling you.
Well, you know what? You're doing quite well already, anyway. So I want to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know,
that's true.
I want to see what this unstoppable is. Is it invincible level? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
38. Well, anyway,
very fortunate at center back. We'll just leave it at that. Right back. Any debates there?
No, I can't sit here and say that Coleman's better than Trent.
Seamus
I can't
Coleman.
sit here.
What a guy.
Even prime Seamus Coleman.
I thought he had some good plays against Brentford.
I'll argue prime Seamus Coleman, but obviously that's not the question, is it? You know what I mean? So
yeah, Trent's just he's too good. He's too good.
Trent is 21. He's already won a Champions League and a Premier League.
Oh no, he's older than 21.
Yeah. Oh, is he? No, he's 23, isn't he?
22 or 23. Yeah.
He won the Champions League at 21, didn't he? So.
Yeah, I mean he's already got 50 Premier League assists from a right back position. I mean, come on. I mean, the kid, he's just talented. So let's move into midfield, okay? I think this is where you definitely have some arguments to be made. Me personally, I wouldn't start my midfield without Fabinho. Fabinho just, oh my God, is just a holding guy in front of that back line. Even as a pivot guy, I mean, Fabinho is just very good. He's very good at what he does. There are some times where he's a little off, but I would start Fabinho, no question, over even if you put Decore in there. I think Fabinho is the guy.
Can I just say my midfield free?
Feel free.
We'll go Fabinho, CDM, Decore, and then where the main argument I think comes into play. Is it going to be Thiago or is it going to be Alan?
Oh my God! Oh my God! This is actually all right. Go ahead.
The better player is Thiago.
No question.
As a midfield duo, who would you rather have, Alan and Decore or Decore and Thiago? I would argue Alan and Decore.
Well, are we taking chemistry out because they play for the same club?
No, we don't. I mean, I think on the way they both play.
Mm-hmm.
If you put Thiago into Everton's team, you'd get run around everywhere because he is well class. Because same with Jorginho, and the reason I say that is because Jorginho and Thiago are world class players. You know, they are they are the top. So they do absolutely phenomenal at top level when you've got control. But when you've not got control, when you're trying to run a game, run after a game, I would say Alan's better because he's more used. He's been in this Everton team. He's running around everywhere. He's trying to get it. He may not have as much technical ability as Thiago does, but he's definitely got the engine. And same with Decore. He doesn't have as much technical ability as someone like Thiago would, but he's got the engine to keep going and play box to box. And when you're getting dominated in the midfield, keep going and keep working. Whereas I felt if someone like Jorginho came into the Everton team, and I'm going to get a lot of Chelsea fans hate on me now, but if Jorginho came to Everton's team, I'd be very concerned if he was in the midfield too, because I think he'd get overrun very easily.
Well, I'll lead off. Great points. I'll lead off with this. I don't rate Jorginho as high as the world does. I don't think he's that special. I think he's a good penalty taker. I mean, he's solid for Chelsea. I mean, he's won a Champions League trophy. And, he has the stats to back it up. But when I watch Jorginho play, I'm not thinking to myself, this guy is amazing. Like, I think Fabinho is a better midfielder than him. I mean, if you put Fabinho as a center mid as opposed to CDM, I think he's better than him.
Yeah, Fabinho is miles better than him.
But anyways, let's get to so. This is tough. This is tough for me. So I'd put Thiago in on current form. So that's a good question that you brought up earlier on current form or just overall. Thiago on current form has just been unbelievable. What this guy can do with a football is just sexy. Like, just the way he flicks the ball around the pitch like it's nothing. You saw the strike. I know you saw the strike.
That's why I said he's one of the best. He is, when he's in a top team, he is one of the best midfielders out there because his technical ability it's so good. It's just phenomenal. It really is.
But the argument is there because Alan and Thiago very similar in age. I think what's Alan, 29, 28, 29? Yeah. So I think Allen's very underrated. I think he's humble. You know, he stays to himself. He does his job well. But I still wouldn't put him over Thiago. I think I'm going Fabinho, Thiago, and this is where I run into it because if Keita's healthy, I'm going Keita.
Oh, come on!
Come on, dude! Just look at when Keita's playing in our midfield. It's amazing. I don't know. I was watching the highlights against Brentford, and Decore. To be fair, that was his first game back, right?
Yeah, first game back.
Okay, so he was a little rusty, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But like he could have taken his chances. And he had a chance in the box. I don't know. He kind of looks shaky around the box. In the midfield, he's fine. That's just my opinion. I would probably. This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to go Hendo.
Well, you know what? I mean, look, I'm back in Decore. I think Decore gets into our team. You know, I really do. Obviously, I understand the Hendo argument. You know, he's captain, leader,
right?
That, the other. So really, I mean, look, you put any of these midfielders in. If you put Alan and Decore in Liverpool's midfield, I don't think much would change. To be quite honest,
agree, and I think that's why it's such a good debate in the midfield because they're very close.
Yeah, and I think that for me, as a box to box, Decore is one of the best. He really is. He's a workhorse. He can. I think he's got three goals so far this season. You know, he has been clinical in the box sometimes. Now, obviously, look, you know, you don't hit every shot off perfectly, but there was a strike he did against Southampton, which was phenomenal. He sort of chips the ball, but he sort of takes the touch of the ball, turns around, shoots, goes in the back of the net. And I think if you put Decore in a team like Liverpool or another team, top four team, he looks like he's in a natural sort of position. He won't look out of his depth, pretty much is what I'd say. So I think you put Decore in there. Alan already played at high level, so I put Alan in there. But if you want to put Thiago in there or Hendo, you're more than welcome to. But at least one of my boys has got to go in there.
Hey, I love it. I love the dedication, and it's a good argument. So midfield straightened out. Let's go to the front three. Okay, I thought it'd be straightforward, but hit me with it. Who are you going with?
Right, I am going to go for Mo Salah. Sorry about that. Mo Salah on the right wing. Left wing, I'm going to go for Sadio Mane, even though he's had a bit of a... Sorry about that again.
You're fine. You're fine.
Run of form. Well, no, but he's not necessarily had a bad run of form.
That's what I'm saying. So
he's just not looked like... It's not a bad run of form because he'd still do... If he was an Everton's team, he'd be doing amazing at the moment. But he's... obviously, compared to his other seasons, he's dropped down a little bit, hasn't he, because of COVID and whatnot.
Well, yeah, in 18-19, Sadio Mane was the best winger in the world. And find anyone who debates that differently, but you're right. COVID took a toll on him, and you're right. He's not the same player. Like, I get why people would say that, but when you look at the stat sheet, he's still top 3 in the league in goals. Like, he still produces. He's always there to make a play. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. Striker, it has to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I understand that is it Jota or Firmino you're going with, because whoever it is, regardless, you want a main man up top. You want Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. 3 goals in 3 games already. He was looking on track for form. He had a brilliant last season. You know, last season he was phenomenal for England. He's still looking like he's solid, not out of his depth. I really do think again Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Ben Godfrey, and well, probably too late for Pickford now, but those two will be top 4 wherever he plays in my book.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm really not. So on current form, again, it depends on formations and current form. I'd go with Jota, but I am a diehard Bobby Firmino fan. I am the biggest Bobby Firmino fan you'll ever meet. But Bobby's in that part of his career where he's kind of on the decline. Like, he'll come in and he'll do his thing. He's a very good link-up player from that center forward spot. Does a lot of the work that Jota doesn't do. But Jota of recent has been phenomenal in that center forward spot, and he's an aerial presence, which a lot of people don't think. Like, he's only 5'9". Guy can head the ball with the best of them. However, I'm going to agree with you. I think I'd put Dominic Calvert-Lewin up there. I mean, he's very good. He's very good. He's an aerial presence. He's just a threat. Even if you have a strong center back, he can go up against him, even against Van Dijk. I mean, he gives Van Dijk a good workout, or Matip, whoever he's going up against. Calvert-Lewin's a good shout, man.
I think it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin is, if Man City, if you're Pep Guardiola, would you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin for free and put him in your team? I'd argue potentially. You know what I mean? I'd argue.
For free?
Yeah, well, whatever it is. If you say you want a striker in the Premier League, who would you want? I'd say Dominic Calvert-Lewin's top 3.
Right now, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Harry
Well,
Kane, but Harry Kane's
that's what I mean by
trash
that.
right
It's
now.
like what I mean by that is any manager would probably take Dominic Calvert-Lewin under their wing, mould them, and by the looks of it, the only team I don't think he gets into are probably United and Chelsea, because obviously I think he gets over Jota and Firmino, and you'd probably maybe transition into a 4-3-3, but obviously with a higher up forward. Not sure how that would work with Salah and whatnot, but same with Man City, they'd probably transition up to having Dominic Calvert-Lewin striker. He is someone you could use. He's an asset. Obviously massive aerial threat, as we saw last time out in the derby, for example. He just is. He's got a brilliant strike on him. What he needs to work on, one criticism I've got of him, is one-on-one ability is not there. It's the only thing about him that I don't like.
Which you kind of need as a striker. You know what I mean?
You sort of do. But
you sort of do.
It depends. Thing is with that, though, is that's when you have the ball from the halfway line or whatever, and you're making a run in behind. What he's really good at is getting it when the ball's in that box. You know you're going to score. You know he's going to score because you get the ball into the box, in the 6-yard box. All he needs is a touch or two, and it goes in the back of the net. And that's his main. That is his main strength: getting into the 6-yard box, taking a touch, maybe even two, and scoring. His weakness is where it comes sort of where he's trying to not build up play because he's quite good at that. But when he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he doesn't have the bottle sometimes, and that's what he needs to work on.
Yeah. Same for Richarlison too, I'd say, right? One-on-one, like Richarlison.
Yeah, there was actually a game against Crystal Palace last year where we had 20 shots. We only scored one. And there was 7, I think there was 7 clear-cut chances. I remember it in my head. I was fuming after it. 7 clear-cut chances we had that didn't go in because of those two missing 1v1s.
Man. Well, either way, it doesn't matter who we rotate, whether it's Allen, Thiago, Luca Digne, Robertson. I think that team is still a very solid team that could take on anyone in the Premier League. As we wrap up, we did run over a little bit. That's fine, though. It's good chat. Score predictions. I don't do score predictions because my score predictions recently have been the Aston Villa 7-2 loss and the Man City 4-1 loss. So I stopped doing predictions.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay. 1-0 Everton.
1-0 Everton.
All right. Let's go for it, man.
Hey, you got to respect the positivity.
8 men behind the ball. We'll have the only one sitting up top will be, I reckon, 8 men behind the ball. Have Townsend and Gray on the halfway line, ready to run, and then just see what happens from there.
Hey, I love it, Kieran. Absolute pleasure to have you on the show, my man. And again, I respect your positivity, and we're all just fans of the clubs we love. So again, thank you very much. You want to give a quick plug to your channel, my man?
Yes, it is Kieran Rants, as you can sort of see here. That's how it's spelled. Just search it up on YouTube, Kieran Rants. We do, obviously, the Everton watch-alongs, a lot of Everton content previews, match reactions, and then obviously the watch-alongs themselves. We also do a lot of neutral videos, so neutral watch-alongs. We do some fan debates where we get different fans on, and they just have it out pretty much. And obviously, we had the Ballon d'Or stream last night, so we do a variety of football content. But yeah, just find it, Kieran Rants. See it yourself. I'm on TikTok as well. But TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you want to find it, Kieran Rants.
Absolutely love it. Thanks again, Kieran. And Reds, looking forward to the match tomorrow. And until then, take care.